Happy Monday. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Here we are again. Good evening, ladies, and good evening to you who are tuning in. If you are tuning in tonight to the Woman to Women show on the New You Nation Network, we are here tonight. It's three of us out of what, six usually, I think, or five. So two of us are missing tonight, but we're here. We're looking forward to having a lively discussion as we approach the holiday. And what? How many more days do we have until 2024? What's like 13 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna get started the way we normally get started by just introducing ourselves and saying what we are grateful for. So I will start by saying that my name is Theodora Carter. I am a certified career and life coach. I am passionate about helping women navigate life intentionally so they can live the life that they desire and deserve to live. And I am grateful to be here. I am grateful to have made it to December 18th of 2023. And I am just grateful. I am grateful to be here with my sisters and, just thankful that God has kept me this far. Sheila, Gina, who's going next?
Well, I am Sheila Isom, and I am an insurance claims professional, and I am also an independent Color Street nail strips stylist, and I am also a notary public. And I am grateful, I am thankful for um, health. To be able to get up today and first of all, yeah, to get up and to wake up and to be able to walk around today and to know that if you are ill, that sometimes it's not the worst case scenario, and that there are always things in place to help you with your improve your health.
Nice.
Good evening. My name is Regina Booker, and I am the owner of Season and Fabulous, where women of 50 plus we discuss and help get unstuck if you're stuck. That it's not over. You can always start whatever it is that you want to start. As we become empty nesters, or our career starts to end, or we just think in our 50s, what have I done with my life, or I didn't fulfill my dreams or whatever, but you still can do it. And that's what we do over here at Season and Fabulous. And I am grateful for, uh, I guess, just, I'm just grateful. As you say, grateful, grateful, grateful.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Come
Come
on
on
with the gospel.
now. Yes. 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 We about to have a concert.
Yes, I was
Yeah,
just, earlier
concert.
today, I was just thanking God, I just thank you, God. And I just thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's get into this topic. It's funny because um, I was thinking, like, as I talk to people about this whole, Christmas coming, and people are like, "Oh, are you ready for Christmas? Are you ready for Christmas?" Right? And how many people are like either, you know, scaling back, or not doing much shopping. But I want to talk about the people that are, this holiday that's supposed to be peaceful and joyful, right? And about family, end up like really just stressed, right? Amidst the hustle and bustle of the holiday. So how do you guys manage, right? Like, self-care during the holidays, hustles and bustles?
Well, this season for me has been a little different. Uh, there's been no hustle or bustle
Mm.
because I've chosen no hustle and bustle. The hustle and bustle for me will be the next 2 or 3 days to plan what I'm having for dinner,
Okay.
looking at some recipes, looking in my cabinet to see what I have and what I need to add to what I'm going to the grocery store for.
Now, have you
Is it?
always been like that, or was there
Oh,
a time when
absolutely
you were
not.
like,
It's been hustle and bustle,
yeah,
but this year it's just been different. Actually, yesterday after church, I went out and bought 3 Christmas gifts. I wasn't planning on buying any Christmas gifts, but as you know, I'm in an organization and I'm a chair for one of the organizations. So our committee went out, and as a chair, I just felt like, well, I should buy my team something.
mm,
And I was able to go in with ease and get something that was meaningful, not too expensive, and something that they would appreciate and use
nice,
in and out.
There
cool.
you go.
Sheila, what about you?
Yeah, same here. Under normal circumstances, right now I would be stressed out. I'm not one to get all of my gifts by Thanksgiving and start wrapping like the beginning of December. For me, I like the adrenaline of
Mm-hmm.
doing everything closer to Christmas. Like Christmas
Mm-hmm.
Eve used to be my day. That was when
Hmm.
I would finalize all my shopping, get all of the gifts wrapped, or at least or maybe even the day before
Mm-hmm.
Christmas Eve, one of the two. But that
Hmm.
was that was my thing. I used to love it, and then that because then the closer we get to Christmas Day is when it really starts to feel like Christmas for me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but this year, I've kind of decided I'm not going to put myself through any of that, right? Because I always had to be the one to try to get the perfect and the unique kind of gift, to get something a little different for everybody, because that was my touch. Whatever
Mm-hmm.
I give you, I'm giving it to you from the heart. I'm kind of personalizing it. It's standing out only from the aspect that no one else has gotten you anything like this, right? um, and mainly it would be a lot of trying to get stuff together for the grandkids. But this year, I'm just like, what? Cash is king too. So getting an envelope with a little bit of something when all I may have to do is just go to the bank to get all of the bills that I need.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, might even just have to go to the ATM and do a few withdrawals there. But that's just as good, and it's going to give me peace of mind knowing that I have given out my gifts and people can do with them as they will, because it's
Mm-hmm.
money. So you can just go ahead and buy whatever you want. Maybe I'll get some gift cards too. But I'm just keeping it simple this year,
Hmm.
and I'm okay
Nice.
with
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, cool. I mean, I'm like you. I used to be the one that I don't know why. I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna have everything done by October, right? But then on December 24th, I was out shopping, like the day before, wrapping gifts, running around, and it's crazy because now I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I haven't done anything, right? And it's on purpose. I'm like, you know, I think for me now, the the fun of it is all like I used to be the one that didn't put up a tree, right? Like I had like a little tabletop tree. So
that.
this year, like last year and this year, I put up a tree, decorating a tree. I got a little inflatable outside, right? So I think now as I get older, I'm more into like just like the decorations and the calmness and the peacefulness of the season, if that makes
Hmm.
sense, right?
Right.
So,
Absolutely. Because I'm looking forward to, I just thought about this because I saw so many people have the little ugly sweaters on. I said, I can't wait to December 26th to find that ugly sweater sale. Look like cowboy. But I refuse to pay that much money. So hopefully I can find one in my size. But I'm not gonna stress if I don't find it, I don't find it. But you know, that's what I'm looking forward to.
I mean, you
Absolutely.
will you will definitely find it. I mean, I was in what um home what's that at home the other day because I needed to pick up something, and they already have their Christmas stuff 50% off.
Yep, yep. I
So
go on the
imagine
Hobby Lobby a few
the
weeks
day
ago.
after Christmas it's gonna probably be like 70%, 80% off, right? So let's help out the people out here who are running around, hustle and bustle, stressed, right? Let's give them some tips on, some self-care rituals or activities that they can use to help, stay grounded during this season. So what are some recommendations? What are some things you would recommend for someone that's right now stressed out about the holiday? Like where they're gonna go for dinner, what if they're hosting dinner, if they got all their gifts, did they forget somebody? Did they mail out their Christmas cards?
Christmas cards.
Like,
I
what's
Yeah,
mean,
people still mail Christmas cards, actually.
yeah, there's and I noticed that I get fewer and fewer of those. I'm not a
Mhm.
card person to begin with. I'm always the person that, like right before I go out to a birthday party, I'm going to get the card, that kind of thing. But you know, I would say first thing you should start with is remember the reason for the season, right? What is the reason that you are doing what you're doing? Are you getting gifts because you want to please everyone? Are you getting gifts because you want to be able to stand out and say that you took care of everyone? Are you getting gifts
Mm,
because you're thinking about how you want the children to still have that innocence about them and enjoying the holidays? Or are you doing it just strictly in the spirit of giving because you understand that this is the season, this is the time where we are thinking about, for those of us that are believers, about the birth of our Christ, Jesus King, and how
mm-hmm,
that brought about an atmosphere of love and giving. So there was a purpose and a meaning behind it. So think about that first. And from there, just try to decide on who really you need to give gifts to, right?
mm-hmm,
Because you can't please everybody. I think we've all probably been in a situation where every year we might go overboard. And, because I was like, oh, I got to have 2 or 3 gifts to give everybody. And it's, if it doesn't look full enough under the tree, I got to go and, run out and get some more things. And then it was just like, well, why? Because once the gifts have been opened, right, then there's that lull,
yeah.
right? Everything down and it gets back to normal. So why did I do all of that for a few minutes of oohs and ahs, right? And
Mm,
does that really, really matter?
yeah.
Um, you know, to me, being together with family is much more important. So
Mm-hmm,
that's what I focus on.
yeah. Cool. Regina, what do you focus on?
Well, in the same guidelines as Sheila, the reason for the season,
Mm-hmm,
which is our Lord Jesus Christ. Um, and I try to remember the best memories for me was the season of family and being around family and uh, the memories and the things that you did well for me as a family. And really focus on the kids. But
mm-hmm,
we grown people. I mean, if it's a couple and it's your first Christmas together, you might do something cute. Why don't it doesn't have to be about money. How
mm-hmm,
about spending a day together? Let's do something if it's for a couple in your first holiday or Christmas or whatever together. Maybe focus on something more meaningful. Uh, Spending the day watching Netflix or in our pajamas all day or having wine together or a special dinner. Just make it about a memory.
mm-hmm,
I, that's just
yeah.
but really it's about to me it's about the kids. And once I had kids, it was about the kids. Other
Yeah.
folks
I mean, well, that's what it is, right? It's
Mhm.
about,
Yeah.
and now you have what? You have Kwanzaa, you have Hanukkah, you have,
Mhm.
Christmas, you have all of the
Right.
different traditions and different ways of celebrating it,
Mhm.
right? But I think it really is about, right, the joy of watching a
The
kid,
kids,
especially
yeah.
like the babies, right? When it's like their
Mhm.
first Christmas or their one or two, and just how they get more joy out of the wrapping
Mhm.
paper than they do out of the gift, right?
Right.
And that kind of stuff. But
But don't make it too much. I mean, don't make it. I don't make them be entitled.
yeah.
You have to kind of keep a balance with
Right.
it. And some of these toys are ridiculously
Mhm.
expensive, and you also have to remember it's one day. It's one day,
Mhm.
and then your bills. You spend all your money.
Mhm.
You still got to live.
I mean, yeah, right. You spend all your money, and then on January
Right.
1, you're trying to figure out how you're gonna pay.
How you gonna pay
Right?
your
You're like,
bills?
okay, how I'm gonna pay all this bill. I mean, I think, I was talking to Gina before I got on. She called me because she was able to make it tonight, and she was just talking about how she has a holiday club, right? Like she has a holiday
Oh,
club, the kitchen
my
club,
mom used to have
right?
that. My
And
mom, I
so,
remember.
yeah, right. Remember back in the day,
My mom had that. That's how my mom did it. She had that holiday. I don't think they have those anymore. I mean, you can have it on your own, but they called it the holiday club.
yeah. I mean, I think some of the small like community banks may have it, but I think in most cases is you just deciding to open an account and use
Mhm.
it just for that thing. But that's another way for those of you who maybe this year are feeling stressed because trying to figure out how you're gonna buy Christmas gifts. One of the things you might want to do as you go into 2024 is start a holiday club. So next year you won't be so
Mhm.
Yeah.
stressed out about getting your gifts, right? So, what are some of your favorite like holidays, traditions, self care? Like what I'm about to say, people are gonna probably stone me, but I love Christmas music and
Mhm.
Christmas movies, right? And so I first of all, I can literally, if I can find a Christmas movie to watch throughout the year, I will do that. But
Mhm.
this time of year is like so fun for me because I will spend every day, because I don't watch a lot of TV, but around this time, I literally yesterday probably watched about two or three Christmas movies like back to back. And
Mhm.
some of them I watch like it's repeaters, like I've seen them before, right? And my all-time favorite is A Year Without a
Uh-huh.
Santa Claus, right? So, but then I like yesterday I like there's all these different little like on Netflix and Hulu and all these little different like Kelly Rowland has three. Like it's just oh my god, like I am in
Mhm.
like my happy space. Like that's how I literally relax, right? Is to look forward to Saturday and Sunday. I know that I'm going to be watching at least three or four holiday movies for the weekend.
Mhm.
Are you guys
Um,
into like holiday
I
movies?
I I do too. I love Christmas movies and Christmas music. I love to look at my tree. I have to look at my tree all day, all night.
Mhm.
And New Year's, I'm very sad because I have to take down my tree. So I'm like, oh man. So I have a week of like withdrawal.
So how soon do you take down your tree after Christmas? Like
I
after New
Uh-huh.
Year's?
I try to take it down New Year's Day. I
Oh,
try.
wow.
Okay, really.
Some people keep it up a week after, but I try because I've always my mom. That's when she took it down, so I just follow her and I take it down. Sometimes I don't get to it, but I don't fall into that 3 and 4 weeks of having it up after Christmas.
Well, do you have more than one tree? Like I know someone that has like five trees in
No,
their
I have one tree, but I'm thinking about getting another one um, somewhere down. I don't know where I would put it here now. I mean, I would put it upstairs as I have a loft, but I probably wouldn't look at it much. So,
Yeah. Like I don't like literally someone they were like they have five trees. Like there's a tree in their daughter's room, a tree in their
mhm,
son's room, a tree in it. I'm like, why you have all those trees?
that's
What's
what they
that?
like to do. I mean, they,
I kind of
I
feel
know
like
quite
that
a
would
few
be
people that
stressful
do
for
that.
me. Yeah, I feel like that would be a stressful
Yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah, I couldn't do that. Um, see now, I haven't put up a tree in a few years, mainly because we were always traveling on
mhm,
Christmas, like around Christmas Eve, Christmas Island. So I was like, what's the purpose of having a tree when I'm not going to be there? Because I'm not going to leave the lights on when I'm out.
Hmm.
So I haven't really gotten into the habit of it, putting in a tree, up a tree. But I'll get back into it. But I was one of those. I didn't like to put up a tree any earlier than a week before Christmas, and
Mm.
cover your ears, because I would leave my tree up like about a week or two after Christmas, still lighting it, still putting the lights on.
Yeah. Oh my! So do you like
Definitely a
decorate
week after.
outside? Do you decorate outside your house? Do you put like lights and stuff up? Like,
No, I've never
no,
done that.
I don't.
okay,
Yeah, that's ever to me. It's always been the indoors.
Mhm.
yeah.
I,
So
I,
how do you guys set boundaries? For like during this time, like for family gatherings and celebrations and stuff. Like,
well, Christmas for me
Well,
has
we did.
always, well, I'll say in my adult life, it's kind of just been me and, well, me. I think I did all my celebrating on Christmas Eve. Then
mm,
Christmas Day was just kind of a relaxing day. And then once the kids came, kids running around playing with it. So it was just, for whatever reason, we never really had a family dinner. And
oh,
in my adult life,
okay.
on Christmas Day, now when I was a kid, we had, my mom, we had, but it was just us. It was just my immediate family. So we never had
Mm.
extended family like my aunts, or it was very, and if it was very rare. And I can't even really remember. So I never
So
had
you
that,
didn't really have that stress of
yeah, that extended
whose
family.
house am I going to? I got to
Yeah.
go to this house and that
Hmm.
house.
Right. So it was a typical same family day.
Okay. Yeah. Sheila, what about you? Do you host? Do you host or do
Yeah.
you? Well, you said you travel.
Well, yeah. Well, we were traveling a lot, but what was happening was that traditionally my family, we celebrate on Christmas Eve. When we were kids, same thing as Virginia was saying. It's pretty much contained with just the nuclear family. But
Mhm.
we did everything on Christmas Day. My mother would make the Christmas dinner. But then as we started to get a little bit older, my mother would start opening her gift at midnight, and then it would start to get a little bit earlier and earlier, to the point where it's like, Mom, look, it's only 9 o'clock. No, you cannot open the gift. Um, so we carried that on. So it started
Okay.
with us, even when the kids were little, we would we would get together, and we've had to tame ourselves because we do potluck, for Thanksgiving, right? So we got this big spread, and now a month later, we would call ourselves just keep doing a moderate meal, because we would
Hmm.
start at night knowing that we were
Yeah.
going to have to stay up, but then that would turn into a big elaborate spread as well, with tons and tons of food. So then we just kind of do themes. Like
Yeah.
last year we did a salad related theme. This year we're going to do breakfast,
Oh,
um,
nice.
breakfast for dinner, but we start at night, because we would make the kids stay up until midnight because they couldn't open their first gift until midnight. So they would
Oh,
open some of their gifts. But then, of course, by the time we were all said and done, it was probably like 2 o'clock in the morning and everybody dispersed. And we would kind of alternate. Like if Thanksgiving was at my house, Christmas Eve would be at my sister's and vice
mhm.
versa. But the next day, the kids would always have something to open up. There would always be something under the tree for them, because you need to be able
Nice.
to really open something up on, Christmas morning after you wake up. Um, and now everybody's older, so who cares? You can open up everything on Christmas Eve, because on Christmas Day I'm sleeping in.
Mm-hmm.
I may get up long enough to get a mimosa,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm sleeping in and I'm watching something on TV that's Christmas related.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. All right. So for those of you who may just be joining us, this is the Woman to Woman show on the New You Nation Network. And we're just here, it's what, about a week? Well, no, yeah. How many days
A
before
week from
Christmas? A week
today.
We
before
today.
Christmas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're just talking about the holiday and how you manage, right? Self-care during the holidays so it doesn't become such a stressful time. And so we were just talking about some of our traditions and what we did when we were younger versus what we do now as we are in our, what we would call 50-ish years on this earth, and how different it is. So I have another question for you guys. Like, how do you balance your desire, like, to be there for others, right? But also taking care of yourself, right? I know one of the things that I miss since I've been in North Carolina, which I need to find, is for me, for Thanksgiving and Christmas, I always would try to find some place to go to serve, those who are less fortunate, right? So whether it's to go help serve food, help give out gifts, help, like, just be of service to someone. So that's my goal for next year, is to find some place where I can go. And because when I lived in New York, since I was working at Covenant House, that would be it. Like the morning of Christmas or Thanksgiving, I would go and I would spend time with the staff and the youth, and we would serve them, lunch or whatever. But how do you balance, like, really just making sure you're taking care of you, right? But also trying to be there for others, because this is also a season that is not really joyful for everybody,
Mm-hmm.
right?
That is true. That is true. Oh, yeah. Um, to be transparent, I usually don't.
Mm,
That is a time when, while it's not that I'm not thinking about being of service to other, it's just that is the one time of the year that I devote to family,
mm,
along with Thanksgiving, because life gets in the way. There's the hustle and bustle, and purposely, these are the times that we have together. So that's
mhm,
what my faith focuses on.
mhm. And so I would say, like, for anyone out there listening, like, right, what I heard was, it's okay, right, not to feel like you have to be there for others, because you know you can we have all year to do that, right? and
Exactly.
so and so that's one way to minimize that stress of feeling like I have to do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have to be there for this person or that person, right? So that's good, right?
Well, I serve all year, so
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on outreach at my church, the
Mm-hmm.
organizations I'm in. I'm a mentor to girls, so I'm constantly serving.
Yeah.
So it's no stress. That's just what I do
Yeah.
on top of my own personal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if I need to check out, I check out whenever I need to check out. So
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's good, because I feel like so many people don't really take the time, right, to check
hmm
out, right, to be
hmm
like, I'm good for that. Like, I'll be like, I'm going off the grid. Yeah, I'm for a minute. In a minute, I'll be like, I'm off the grid. My phone is on do not disturb. I'm not, right. I'm like, I'm good for that.
hmm
Any time of the year, right? So, but I think it's important for people to hear that during the holidays, because I think
hmm
you get so caught up in excuse me, not to offend anybody, the commercialism
hmm
of Christmas, that you feel like
Absolutely.
you have to buy all of these gifts, spend all these money, go to every holiday party. Like, you do not have to say yes
Mm-hmm.
to every holiday party, right? You
Right.
do not.
Now, I think it's more of the holiday parties now than the gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Because I felt now, if I had any stress this year, it was the holiday parties. Like this past week, it was all the holiday parties, and they were all in one week. And I was like,
Okay. So how did you manage that?
well, I went to every single one of them, but next year, I'm telling you, I'm not going to every single one of them. Like, I'm gonna say no. On top
See,
of that,
now you know
and
to set the boundaries.
dance, yeah, dance ministry, and that ended up having to be that same week. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Well, actually, when I did the calendar and I put everything on my calendar, I didn't really realize that I did that because you're doing it weeks in advance. So I really wasn't paying attention to my calendar.
Mm.
I'm like, how the heck did I do this? I think it was Monday. It was 2 nights that I didn't. No, Monday, because last Monday I wasn't on because an emergency came up, which still had to do with my organization. So that was a meeting. Then Tuesday was a party. Wednesday, something. Oh, Wednesday was the rehearsal because it was the last rehearsal before. Thursday was a party. Friday, maybe was, I don't know, it wasn't, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Was it free? It might have been, it seemed like I did something Friday. I can't remember. Saturday was the production, and Sunday was another,
Wow.
was church, and I was wiped. Oh, I know. Friday, Friday, I thought I was free. I ended up having to take my grandson to his basketball. I'm like, you got
Wow.
to be kidding me. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, so that's important, right? Like one of the
Yeah.
things.
So I said, I'm not doing that again.
I mean, but it was a lesson, right? It was a lesson.
Hmm.
One, to be more mindful of,
But I had committed
that
myself
you
to
have
all these
commitment.
things.
Yeah. Right. Like, you're like, I committed to all of this stuff, not even
Mhm.
realizing it, right? But
Right.
also just because I don't know. I think, you know, there was a time when I would try to make every event and be at everything.
Hmm.
And now
Hmm.
it literally, somebody was like, hey, we're having a holiday party, from work, and they invited it. I was like, I'm sorry, I can't make it.
Yep.
Like, I am so, it does not even take a lot for me now to be like,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, no, I can't do it. I'm not available, right? And
Right.
and without even an explanation of why, just like, I'm not
Hmm.
available. Because
That
the
that
one thing,
really that really was my fault because last week was, and there's no more, but they just all happened. Everything was just all last week. I'm like, really, really?
because what comes with holiday parties, right? Gifts.
Yeah.
No,
Whether
it
it's
really
Secret
wasn't any gift.
Santa.
It was no gifts.
Oh, okay. Well,
Only that one I did for my committee, but it was time. It was my time. It was my time because I was tired and the drive, and we live in North Carolina, so at night you can't see the light,
Mm-mm.
dark streets. Oh,
but I
so.
think I think that's important, right? Because how do you handle, like, those feelings of, I don't want to say guilt, but, right, like feeling like, oh my God, a little bit of guilt, right? But
Hmm.
also prioritizing, your self care, because you just said,
Hmm.
like, we can't get time back,
Hmm.
right?
Right. Right.
And so how do you manage, right? Like, and be intentional about,
Hmm.
I have all of it, because all of us also, because of the mode we're in now, we're thinking about planning, right, for what we got to, like, Sheila, you're coming up on, month end, right, at work, and then you're
Hmm.
probably planning for, what has to happen with, your nail strips as you go into next year, right? So how do you manage, like, oh my God, there are these things that I know I need to be focused on with this pull, right, of these events.
Mhm.
because they want to have the holiday luncheons at work and, bring cookies and do this. And so, how do you manage that? And is it different for how you managed it in the past?
Oh yeah, because I know in the past it was kind of like, again, trying to be everywhere that you were invited to for this, this the spirit of the season, and making sure that you always had, oh, no matter where I go, let me just make sure I always have a gift just
Mhm.
in case, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And then one of the things that I think, I began to realize over the years is, um, I'm giving more and more, right? But I'm getting less.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay because I wasn't expecting a lot, because I know that that's kind of the transition that
Mhm.
happens as you get older. So if I can accept that for me, why can I accept that towards others?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I rushing out to try to get gifts for other people when I know that their focus is going to be somewhere else? Not that they wouldn't be appreciative for what I've gotten them, but then they don't feel that there's a need to have that gift along the side to hand to me just in case. So realizing that it's okay to be fine with what you get and what you don't get, because again, it brings you back to the heart of the reality, right? The meaning of what this season actually is. And is it all about gifts? So no, it's about fellowship, it is
Mhm.
about family. It is about being present in a lot of cases, as opposed to
Mhm.
giving presents. So learning to reinterpret what this time of year actually means helps a lot for you to realize that I don't have to do everything that
Mhm.
I've done in the past, because times have changed.
Mhm.
And again, I need my sanity. My sanity and my peace is more precious to me than it was 15 years ago, when I was running around at the very last minute and making sure that everything was perfect. I don't
Mhm.
have to do that anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're
No, go ahead, Gina.
no, I said, and we're older, and we have to realize not only our bodies are, we can't even take that pressure. I mean, our bodies can't take
Mm-hmm.
that wear and tear. Our minds probably can because we think we're, but you're running your body ragged.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
that's what I have to realize.
yeah.
Mhm.
I can go. Well, I think I can go like a 30-year-old, but my body can't go like a 30-year-old. Even
Yeah.
though I feel like,
Like you got to get proper
Right.
rest. Like
yeah,
you gotta refuel.
uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean, but I think it's so like what you said, Sheila, like, for anyone that's coming in now, this is the Woman to Woman show on the New You Nation Network. And we're just talking about, just the holidays and the stress that comes along with it and how you can prevent it. So we're just sharing some
Mhm.
tips and lessons learned from how we used to be to where we're at now as Gen
Mhm.
Xers, as people would call us. And what you were talking about, Sheila, is so important. Like I think people need to hear is because someone gives you a gift doesn't mean that
Mhm.
they're doing it so you could give them a gift. Because I know there was a time when I was younger where, especially at work, where someone would give you a gift, and now I would feel like, oh my God, I gotta go run out and
Mhm.
I gotta find a gift to give to this person. And I think as I got older, I realized I was like, no, they chose to give me a gift. I'm appreciative of it. And them giving me a gift doesn't mean that they did it because they expected a gift back from me, right?
Mhm.
But I remember a time when that
Mhm.
would be the
Mhm.
stress for me, right? Like I'd be like, oh my, like I would be stressed out because
Right.
I didn't want people to give me a gift,
Mhm.
especially at work, because I felt like I had to reciprocate. And so
Mhm.
what I would say to
Right.
anyone that's listening now, you know, this season is about, giving, right?
Mhm.
And be okay with receiving. It's about
Mhm.
giving and receiving, but be okay with receiving without believing that you have to give, right? Because people are going to give from their heart, and that
Mhm.
does not necessarily mean that they expect you to give them back a
Exactly.
gift, right? And so don't let the stress of trying to reciprocate, right?
Mm-hmm.
For every gift that you get, especially when it comes to the workplace, right? Be the thing that stresses you out, right? And
Mm-hmm.
leaves you on January 1st trying to figure out how you're going to pay all those credit card bills. So that's the other
Yeah.
thing I would say. If
Mm-hmm.
you don't have it, please, please, please don't run up your credit cards trying
Go
to
get
buy
it.
gifts.
Exactly. Don't do that. And for me, I know I pick up things all year long.
Mm,
Not all the time, but if I see something, I'll pick it up and I might have intentions of using it for myself. I say, or, I never know, something might come up and this will be a gift that I have and I'll have it. And that's what I do. But I don't expect anyone else to do it for me. Like the other night, my niece came over and she was like, Auntie, I love your candle. It just smells so good. And she kept on talking about my candle. So when she left my house, I just went in my room and I gave her one of my candles and I gave her fiance one of
mm,
my candles. But that's just me. She didn't expect it. She didn't ask for it. But she just kept talking about how good it smelled. But it was from my heart. And I just gave it to her, you know? And that was unexpected. But I had it there because I buy the candles. I buy them all year long. And I have abundance of them.
mm.
So that was just I didn't have to rush out. Now, if I didn't have it, I wouldn't have worried about it. But it was something that came from my heart, and I just say, if you want to, as Sheila said, if we you could buy stuff along the year, don't stress yourself out. But you're not obligated to do it, and that's part of the what's your love language.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah.
That might be part of your love. If you guys don't know about the love language, learn your love language and see.
Yep, because is it quality time
Hmm.
versus is it service? Is it gifts? Is it
Hmm.
like so it is because I
Hmm.
know for me, my primary is quality time.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
So
my primary is service.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I
yeah.
do. That's why I'm in organizations. That's why I'm in mentor programs. That's why I keep forgetting what the second one is. I always have to take it over, but I know my top one is service.
Yeah, but for you, so that means your top one is service. So you appreciate when people like do good things for you, right? Because normally your love language is like you are a server, but also because your love language is service, for you, probably someone doing something for you is going to be more meaningful than somebody giving you a gift.
Yeah, I don't really care if someone give me a gift. Yeah, you're right. Like if you do something for me, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that
Hmm.
that is important. I think
Hmm.
I think also like, I mean, I'm gonna go a little bit into coach mode, right? Is also treat Christmas like you treat other areas of your life. And hopefully you treat other areas of your life about what I'm about to say, but plan for it, right? Like make sure you have a budget. How much money you
Hmm.
planning on spending for Christmas, right? Like whether it's how much money you spend if you're hosting dinner, how much money you plan on spending on the meal you're gonna prepare, and how you're gonna have other people bring, how much money you're gonna spend on gifts, right? If you're going to holiday parties, what that looks like. I think I got to a point in my life where I just really started being intentional about a lot of things, right? And so I just really started thinking about, being mindful of what I need to do to make sure that it doesn't become stressful for me. But I
Hmm.
will also say this year, like in just being real transparent, is I am, I love Christmas. I love, celebrating what the season means, but this was a rough year, right? I mean, I had a lot of unexpected losses in my family, right? And so, you know, you know, two of my cousins, my nephew, right? Like just, unexpected. So as although I am, grateful for the season and what it means and celebrating the birth of Christ, right? Like, a little bit of me is kind of like, you know, I, I'm missing some people, right?
Hmm.
And so, like
Right, right.
for those of you who may be feeling like I'm feeling, right? Know that it's okay. Like I read this somewhere, right? Like grief and joy can exist in the same
Mm-hmm.
space, right? So be okay with, you know, celebrating, right? But also be okay with, you may have moments where you're grieving, you're feeling a
Mm-hmm.
little down, because grief and joy can exist in the same space. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and for those of you who may not, you know, be feeling a little down about it, remember those that are struggling a little this holiday, that this might be not be the best season for them, right? You know, a friend of mine just shared that, you know, someone she knows just lost their dad, right, a couple of days ago, right? So, you know, be mindful that this is a season where people will be experiencing or dealing with the first Christmas without, you know, a loved one, right? And so, you know, that's another thing, is try to figure out how you're going to, if you're in that space, try to figure out how you're going to balance celebrating the holiday with the, you know, the feeling of somebody you love is not here to celebrate with you, right? And know that it's okay to let people know that you're not okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Great point.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And know that it's okay to take the time for yourself, because it's probably what you will need more than anything, whether it
Mm-hmm,
is to celebrate the life of that person and thinking back to what the holidays meant to them, or
mm-hmm,
just taking that time to be by yourself, right, to
mm-hmm.
reflect and to, you know, and to grieve and to realize that the holidays don't have to mean that you need to pretend for others.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
it, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
take it, yeah, however that may look to you. Take that time out. You may want to go out. That could be your time to take a vacation, take a little trip, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's a short trip or a long trip, or just even a day trip, or even just going to a hotel room and indulging in just, you know, being with yourself and your memories.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be a day where, yeah, you decide that maybe I need to be of service because that's what my loved one would be doing today. My loved one would be at the food pantry or at the homeless shelter or something like
Yeah.
that. You know, so think of what it is that's going to bring
Mm-hmm.
you peace of mind on that day, and
Yeah.
know that it's okay to go that route.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing, right? Just know that it's okay to say to someone, "I'm not okay," right?
Mm-hmm.
And to let somebody know that, you know, you're not okay. And for those of us who might be okay, check on the people that you know may or may not be okay, right? It's
Right.
because, you know, you will know your friends that might be struggling. So check on those people. But I would say also start new traditions, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the memory of that person. All right. So if they used to love to do something now,
Hmm.
you know, maybe every this holiday we're gonna do this. Like they used to love to do this. We're gonna do that. Right. But I mean the main thing is just know that it is okay to not be okay. All right. But please don't try to do it by yourself.
Right.
Right. And even if you have
Right.
to DM one of us on social media, I'm Theodora Carter 428 on Instagram. If you need to send me a little DM, you want to talk, you want to chat, whatever, hey, just, you know, hit me up. I'll try to give you an encouraging word, but please know that you don't have to do this alone.
Right.
You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how are you guys preparing for, like, you know, the 20, like Gina, Regina and I are going to the movies on
Yes.
Christmas Day.
Ah,
We are going to go see The Color Purple
Oh, yeah.
in the morning, right?
Yep.
Before we have dinner with our families,
Right.
right? And so that's kind of something. I think this might be maybe the second time that I've been to the movies on Christmas in a very long time. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it might be
but
mine too.
yeah,
I have a memory of, I think I was 16. I don't know. That's the only thing I can remember. I was trying to think, when was the last time I've been to a movie on Christmas?
yeah, that's what I'm trying to
I
think.
thought
I,
about
I
it.
know
I
I've
said,
done
I
it
was
before, but I can't remember when.
16. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what we're doing on Christmas
Uh-huh.
morning. We're gonna go to the movie. We're gonna go see The
Mhm.
Color Purple.
Purple. Yep.
So, and obviously a
nice.
lot of other people are too, because it was
Yeah.
real hard trying to get get seats,
Yep.
right? But
Oh,
that's something
really?
else. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, like when we were trying to book the seats, like a lot of people are going to be at the movies
Right.
seeing The Color Purple. So,
All right.
so think about something different that you can do also on a holiday. So,
Yeah, because that took
Yes.
me out of my pajamas. My PJs for the day.
right.
So I got to put them on when I get back.
Because Shirley, I was like, Virginia was like, oh, we're going to a 2:45 show. I was like, oh, I was thinking 11 o'clock.
That's even better. Because then
You
I can
know
get
me, like
right back in
I was thinking early.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. She's
So,
like, most people want to eat dinner. I was like, oh yeah. I said, but it's just going to be my son. I said, well, he usually just come and lay in my bed. My other son's going
I'm
out of
like, by the
town.
time we got in the movies, most people are eating around 3 or 4.
Yeah.
so think about it, G. The earlier you go to the movies, the earlier you can get back home to get back into
Getting my
your pajamas.
pajamas, right? And
Exactly.
Sheila, I'm gonna have me some wine. I'm gonna have me some wine.
By all means, yes. 'Cause I'm trying to think of what I'm going to pop open on Christmas Day. But
Hmm.
usually for us, like I said, over the past few years too, even I've had to get out of my pajamas on Christmas Day because usually we might do something with my husband's family.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but
So
other
So
than
how do
that,
you
this
guys
so
do?
this year,
How
are
do
you
you
gonna?
do that? Do you split that between your
Yeah.
family and your husband's family? Do you
it all depends on
say
who's
here?
having something. Yeah. So, for Christmas Eve, like I said, we always do Christmas Eve
Mhm.
unless we're traveling.
Mhm.
Um, and usually, like if we were traveling, it would be to my brother's for Christmas Eve, or we were going down to my dad's house.
Mhm.
So either way, we were probably with family. You generally my side of the
Mhm.
family. And Christmas Day, if somebody is doing something, it's going to be his on his side of the family
Okay.
because we've already gotten together on mine, so we need to see each other.
Mhm. Okay.
So that's cool. So you guys have been married how long now?
We have been married for 5 years now.
Oh,
We
good.
just celebrated our 5th anniversary
Okay, good.
Good. Good.
in July.
Happy
Yes, five
anniversary.
years.
And so have you guys always kind of like just navigated, like, you know, we're going to
Well,
this person's house versus that person?
we generally just will go with the flow. It's like, well, we'll check with each other to see who has what planned, and you know, then that's just the way that it's always worked out. Thanksgiving has almost always been a little bit more fluid because, again, unless we were traveling, it wasn't that big of a deal as to whether or not where we would be going, because if we weren't going to do anything, then we would just stick with our usual plans where, my sisters and I would all do potluck.
Yeah.
Um, and talk about love language. My husband and our love language is food, so we're gonna go where the food is. We can just go eat now.
You like, listen, you say food, we gonna be up. We gonna be there.
Yes, yes. So yeah, so we
But I think that's cool, because I think that's something else that people need to hear, right? Is like, don't let where we're gonna go be one of the things that stress you out, right?
Mhm.
So also plan and prepare for that, right? Like, maybe it's we're gonna go by, you know my husband's family first, and then we'll stop by my family, or maybe we're gonna go Christmas Eve with this family or whatever. Because I think that ends up being stressful for some people as well.
Right. It can't, if you're in a partnership, it can't always be one-sided. You
Mhm.
know, I know that there are some people who always, every year, they've got to go to this, do everything that this spouse says because they don't want to break from tradition. But how can you make your own traditions? How can you encourage your children to make their own if you're not willing to do that yourself? you
Mhm.
Mm.
know so what you're doing is you're carrying on a tradition with your family, right? Your maternal and your paternal family. But what about your own nuclear family, right? That's when
Mhm.
you're supposed to start doing things differently. Well, I can't have Christmas at my house because my mom always has us over. That might not be the case. So there have been years straight with my sister-in-law has had things, and we've gone over to her house for the holidays. But things have changed with her. She's got an empty nester. It's just her and her husband and the dog. And, so she doesn't want to do anything. She's not going to. She may be looking for someplace else to go. And then that's fine because, again, now that her lifestyle is a little different, they're doing things differently. It
Mhm.
doesn't have to be so much about trying to maintain what was always done over the years because the family dynamic has changed.
Mhm.
Nice. Yeah.
And it's funny because when I was married, and my family didn't live in New Jersey. I lived in New Jersey 25 years, but I'm not from New Jersey. My kids are,
Mm.
but and my family's in Indiana, so I never really would get to go home for holidays anyway. But my mother-in-law always did. She did all the holidays, and I said, "Well, Dad, I'm not ever gonna get to do nothing for my
Mm,
family." And I used to kind of get twisted about it. Years later, I
mm-hmm.
realized I didn't even like to cook like that. So why was I so mad? She was doing me a favor because when she did move and I had to start doing stuff, I was like, shoot, I don't like to do this.
So that's a
I
lesson
knew
for
how to
somebody,
do
right?
it. I knew how to do it, but I didn't like to do it.
So what's the lesson for somebody? What's the message for
The
somebody,
message
right?
is,
Sometimes we gotta check our emotions and our feelings
Yeah,
because
yeah,
we
yeah.
be getting in our feelings and our emotions
hmm
just because we want to make an issue when
but I
we
never
know.
said anything, and but I just kept saying, I'm, because I wanted to follow my mom, because my mom I always wanted to follow what my mom, because that was like the happiest time of the year for me.
Mm,
And
Mm,
I felt like I couldn't make it for my kids because, of course, we went to my mother-in-law's house and she had it beautiful. It was, but it was her way, which was fine. But I felt like I didn't show my kids anything, but my kids, they still got the memory. It was from their grandmother, and they
mm,
got it. And when they was the first one, well, first my sister-in-law moved to North Carolina. Then she moved her, and then my stepfather-in-law moved. And I was up in New Jersey, but it was just us by ourselves, me and my niece, and we'd be looking at each other. She like, Auntie, what are we gonna do? I'm like, I don't know. She sit there looking like two fools trying. And then she had, family on her father's side, which was there. And, she would do her thing. And I try to be cooking this meal. And then my sons they appreciate the first year and the second year. They come in at any time and we wouldn't eat together. I'll be all frustrated. I said, this is why. Like, I don't
cool.
even like to do this. So yeah, be appreciative of, because sometimes you be having blessings and don't even know it.
All right.
yeah.
So on that note, we have hit the 9 o'clock hour. So I guess we will wrap it up and give our final thoughts and words. So Sheila, what say ye?
Take care of you this holiday season and every season after that. Carve out a little time for you, to do you, to be with you, to talk to you, but
Mhm.
make that time just for you.
Mm. And Regina.
Well, I second that. The professor and already proclaimed everything.
The professor. All
The
right.
professor. But I concur. And as I just finally said, sometimes, also, as I just stated, your blessings might, don't get frustrated because your blessings might, as I just, you've already been blessed, might be off getting fussed about something that you've already been blessed for. Like I just said about my whole mother-in-law thing, which
Mm.
was a blessing because I ended up not liking to cook. But just, and you sometimes just be still in the moment and think about it, relax, reflect, and always think about yourself. And I would say going into 2024, choose you.
Mm.
I like that.
I like that. Right. And so I'm gonna try to sum up some of what I think we talked about here, right? I think one of the things we talked about was setting boundaries, right?
Mhm.
And just clearly communicating like what your limits are, right?
Mhm.
And prioritizing and
Mhm.
not being afraid to say, I'm not able to do that. You're not obligated to attend every
Mhm.
event or fulfill every request that is made of you or buy gifts for everybody, right?
Mhm.
So I think that's one of the things we talked about. And also creating ritual, like creating your own tradition, right? Like
Mhm.
maybe it's a time for you to establish new traditions and new ways of doing things. And, maybe before a busy day of being with family, taking a walk. That's your thing, Regina, right?
Mhm.
For me, is riding my Peloton, right?
Mhm.
That's something I do every holiday, right? That morning before, I'm making sure I'm getting in a workout, right? So do something that will bring you some peace, like to, and then just be mindful about the holiday,
Mhm.
right? Just keep at the forefront of your mind. I mean, I think that's one of the things we all said is, right, remember the reason for the season. Like that is a catchphrase that people say, but it is really something that we need to be mindful about. What is this
Mm-hmm.
holiday about? Like every other holiday, Thanksgiving, whatever holiday we have, it is a time for us to spend special time with those that we love, right? And so let's just remember to put the focus on enjoying the people that are in our lives because they may not always be here, right? And
Mhm.
I am grateful that I get to spend like my aunt turned 100.
Yes.
No, she turned 99. She'll be 100 next year, but she turned 100 on November 29th,
Yes.
right? And so I would just say, be just mindful of what this holiday is about. It's about spending time with the people that you love,
Mhm.
right? And so, this is the Woman to Woman show on the New You Nation Network. And this is our last show until
Oh,
2024
that's right. Because
because
Monday is Christmas.
Monday is Christmas, so we will not be here. And then the following Monday is what? New
New
Year's,
Year's.
right?
Yeah.
And I do not believe we will be here. And so
Yeah.
we will see you all. I don't even know what that
I'm
Monday,
gonna look it up. What's the date?
but
uh,
what day? I can't. Shirley, are you muted? Shirley, you're muted.
you.
Yeah, you're
There.
muted.
Oh, I just made that. January 8th.
Okay.
All right. So we will see you back here on January 8th, 2024.
24.
Right? And I'm trying to think what we're
Got to
going to do
get
in
used to
January.
saying that.
I'm thinking maybe January 8th. maybe we're gonna do some vision boards. Maybe
I was gonna say, yeah, that'd be nice.
we should do some vision.
That'd be
Maybe put a
good,
vision
yeah.
board in online.
Mm-hmm.
So meet us here on January 8th,
Yes.
2024. Right? We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna start.
Yeah.
We're gonna start
A
2024
vision
off
board party.
with a
Yeah.
vision board party. So meet us here on January 8th, 2024. Have your magazines and your papers and all that good stuff.
Yes.
We're gonna have some fun. So have a wonderful, wonderful, blessed holiday. And we will see you on January 8th, 2024 on the New You Nation Network for the Woman to Woman Show.
Okay.
Have a great night. And remember, truth plus transparency equals
Transparency
healing.
equals healing.
Have a great night, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.